At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Big discounts, big selection, and really big deals. It's the big pre-owned sale. Only at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Pre-owned vehicles start at $29.95. Over 50 vehicles under $15,000. $29 down. And you can drive today or take advantage of payments starting at $99 a month. That's $29 down. And payments starting as low as $99. From Montgomery to Dothan, the best pre-owned deal are Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or online at PremierChrysler.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. My name's Mike Amos, and we're coming to you live from our studios on South Grundy Street in Troy, Alabama. And ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you're doing well on this Monday, already the 16th day of March, as we are in a crisis, like we've talked about last Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and most of you have already been sort of glued to your TVs and have heard from numerous people advising our local people on what we've got in front of us and what we could have in front of us for a long time. And of course, we've got a lot of things that are going on today, and we're going to try to touch base with you on what's going on. And of course, the main thing is the virus itself. Local doctors have warned us for the last few days that this was going to be a crisis, and it's going to be a crisis, and we're going to have a lot that we need to pay attention to. One thing is right now is the concern about this the COVID-19 virus, and which is pretty much what we're looking at. And of course, they're as far as the normal people that have run into this virus already. You know, right now there's not a large number of people in our area that has come up with the virus itself, but there's no question, I don't think in anybody's mind, that it's out there, and it's a lot of people that have not been tested. And the very most important thing is if you think that you've got the virus, you need to call your local doctor and set up an opportunity to come in and be checked out and actually be tested for this disease that is not only hit Troy, Alabama, but all over the world. Of course, it started in China, and now it's all over the Middle East, from Germany to France to England to Italy, some places worse than ever. But right now, this is an epidemic, something that's going to be here on us for a while, and hopefully we'll be able to use good common sense about a lot of things. One thing that everybody I see and everything I read is that most everything you do, you need to wash your hands after you do it, to wipe just germ off and touch on other things such as not be. Come on in here, Rice. Not being in Bill Rice is joining us, but another thing that we're reading about, and most everybody that we talk to or we watch on our TV. Of course, I watch about the same thing you do. Is don't gather in large crowds. You know, the worst thing in the world yesterday was people saying, "Well, don't go to church," because we do not need to be associated with large groups of people because of the chances of getting this virus. Well, that is something very important. And again, what the governor is saying, and we've got a call coming in now. We got Bill Rice on our line already. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
Mike Amos is here, and of course, excuse me for not coming on any quicker today, but we wanted to get everything set up. Rice, good to see you.
Good.
Excuse me.
Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Bill Rice is is with us in the studio, and Mike Amos calling us from Northwest Florida. How things going, Mike?
Things are good. Had a great afternoon. Went on the beach, and of course we have our beach truck, and we drive down there, and it's just a mob of people everywhere. I mean, we couldn't even find a spot to even park the truck. And I was just telling my wife, I was just like, we literally passed it seemed like 1,000 cars from Tennessee coming down for spring break, and I mean, Graton Beach was as packed as usual. I mean, you would have thought nothing was going on in the world. Kids running around, kids swimming, you know, people having plenty of cocktails and partying up on the beach. And
well, I think they're making a mistake. I'm thinking this is not the thing you need to do. What do you think, Rice?
I go back and forth. I understand the concerns over the virus, but I think the reaction to the virus may end up being worse than the virus itself. The economic panic and people losing their jobs, and it seems like, I can tell the trend, everything is soon going to be closed, like Italy. So it's going to be a complete shutdown of the country. You said you were on the schools. You were absolutely right about that. Movies, churches, businesses, restaurants. Soon we'll be all confined into our home, it looks like, Mike.
You know, that's the last thing I heard was that there is a chance that we could be involved with people wanting to actually have 2 weeks to stay within their home. Is that right?
Well, in Italy, they are confining you to your home. You can go to the grocery store 1 day a week, and then they monitor you and make sure when you go in the grocery store that you're 15 feet away from every other customer. And you can go to, this is in Italy, and which they say has the worst outbreak now. And you can go to the drugstore, the pharmacy, to get your medicines. Can't go in the store. There's somebody at a window that will take your prescription and go get it. They don't want the pharmacist coming in contact with all the people. So the way that things are accelerating, I would not rule that out. They're fining people if you go out and about, you know. And
oh boy!
They girl I saw interviewed from Italy. She's an American married to an Italian. She was about stressed out in tears in the whole interview, but yet she supported the measure. And the only time I saw her get angry when she talked about some people she'd seen that had gone outside, and and she was just like she wanted to kill those people that were putting everybody at risk. So that this is what you have. You're going to have people pitted against people. Those who think the disease is overblown, and those that think it's the bubonic plague and everybody's going to die. And I just, every way I look at it, Mike, it's as bad as we said last week. I think one day you said that everything after is going to be different, and so far you were right on.
Well, it just seemed like it's going to get worse before it's going to get better. And, Mike, let me ask this. Oh, Mike, I'm disappointed in you. Do you think you did the right thing by taking your family out on the ocean and the beach around thousands of more people? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I didn't take my family. I took my wife. My two little girls were
That's right. That's right.
Mother-in-law, but I mean, I'm looking at it in a different perspective. I'm still kind of living life as normal. I mean, we went to our favorite Italian restaurant, Brago, after we got off the beach, and those are friends of ours, and we're trying to support them. And Brago was packed on the inside. There wasn't a table to be found. I mean, we sit at the bar because that's where we like to sit, and we had another friend that was with us and met us, and we had a great dinner. And I was in Birmingham over the weekend, and we met friends out downtown, and went to one of our favorite restaurants, and then went to one of our favorite places to have a cocktail afterwards. And I mean,
well, who you gonna blame if you come down with the virus?
I'm just saying. I mean, that some people choose to do this differently.
Is that what you? So you plan on doing it? You plan on taking a chance? Then is that right? Taking a chance, is that smart?
Well, the other side is there's going to be more of these in the future. Every time we have an Ebola scare or SARS scare, are we going to shut down the whole country? The way I look at this is kind of that you might get the flu, the coronavirus, but you might get the regular flu too, which 28 million people had this year, had the regular flu, and society did not come to a halt. And they said of that 28 million, that 40,000 have died of the regular flu. And, everybody shrugs their shoulders. And here we have something that 66 people have died from, and it's the worst economic crisis of our time.
Right now, it looks like, and of course, we've talked about how bad it is in Italy and how bad it is in France. I mean, and now Germany wants to block off all of them, so they're not doing.
Great Britain is getting.
But the people that are really getting hit bad are people that evidently have not gone and have seeked any help. Evidently, what do you think?
I think it's the good news if you're young is it disproportionately affects the elderly and people that have pre-existing medical conditions, diabetes or something else. So if you're not in those groups, if you're 40 years old and you have no health issues, your chances of getting it are, I guess, 1 or 2%. But the chances that you're going to have any adverse impact from it are about the same as the regular flu. I mean, in a week you'll be fine. But now if you're older, it's a different story.
What's horrible right now is the pollen. I mean, in Birmingham, everything was blooming. So, I mean, I was rubbing my nose and touching my eyes left and right. I wear contacts. I mean, you're breathing in all pollen. Like, it's that season up there. I mean, we'd already had the pollen come through the beach, like in December. So that's another issue right now. I mean, I don't know how people avoid not touching their noses and touching their eyes.
My throat's feeling a little scratchy and my nose is running, but you just nailed it, Michael. That happens to me every year when the pollen comes out. So
it causes headaches. I mean, I had headaches from it because that's just what pollen does to me. It gets me kind of sick where I have to take Benadryl.
Well, have you gone to the store to buy any extra food if they do come down with this quarantine?
We're going to go out and buy some stuff today. My wife just told me that now they're trying to limit public places to only 50 people. It was 250 people. So, I mean, AJ's Bar in Grayton Beach yesterday probably had 200 at least. So, I don't know. I mean, if you just start limiting stuff to 50 people, I mean, I don't even know how restaurants stay open.
Well, restaurants and bars are closed.
That's right.
I mean, I hate to say it, but all of your customer base, except for grocery stores and wine stores.
Several restaurants and bars in big cities now are starting to close down, and that right there could put a stop to exactly what you're doing, is going out to these restaurants and bars. So you better go out and get some supplies while you need them. You know, one thing about it, some people are overdoing it. You know, I've heard the president complaining about that, was some people are buying stores out, you know, instead of just getting what they need and letting some other people get what they need. Some people, they think, are overdoing it. But at the same time, if they do this self-quarantine, which tells you that you and your family will stay indoors for 2 weeks, is that it? Is that what they're doing?
What it is, yes.
And it looks like that's going to happen. A doctor appeared on TV, and of course, you know, different people have different opinions and so forth. But what's happening now is they're predicting over 150,000 deaths. That over long run.
Is that worldwide?
Worldwide. Well, I mean, some people actually say it could actually happen in the United States if we don't self-quarantine or do what it's going to take to whip this thing.
Well, do remember this, put this in perspective, that 2 years ago there were 70,000 people in America that died from the flu proper and flu-like illnesses.
When was that now?
2 years ago.
Yeah.
From the regular flu.
70,000 Americans died of the flu.
Yeah. According to the CDC, I don't know if those numbers are legit. I sometimes think that they're pushing the flu vaccine so hard they might inflate those numbers, but let's say they're true. But here's what we talk about restaurants. I think about the waiters and waitresses that pretty much live on tips.
Yeah, that's right.
And they probably live paycheck, well, not week to week. And you take away their income, they're in a bad situation.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then
you gotta support these restaurants, even if it's just takeout during this time. Hopefully, you can still go buy food from them, even if it's just.
Yeah, that's right. Now they're allowing people to pick up, those type things, and which would be.
That doesn't help the waiters and the waitresses.
That's right. That's right.
Definitely right now, when you go to restaurants, over tip because they need the extra money.
And I wonder about the school closings. I read that there are 55 million public school students in America. That's 55 million people that are going to need somebody to stay home with them. I guess the teenagers can stay by themselves, and junior high kids maybe, but K through 5th grade, they need mom or dad with them. And so suddenly you got tens of millions of people that are going to go to their boss and say, I can't come to work. Is that boss going to keep paying them?
Yeah.
It's either that or you leave the children with who? Grandparents or great aunts, the elderly, who are the most susceptible to getting the virus. And you have a lot of these kids that get free breakfast and free lunch. That's the only hot meals they get all day, according to what I hear on the news. I believe it. So you're taking those meals away from these kids. Yes, I don't know how this school closing, it's going to have a lot of ripple effects that people haven't thought about seriously, I don't think.
A lot of restaurants in Birmingham have come out and already said that, no questions asked. Any families that want a free meal can come to our restaurant. We'll give you a free meal.
How long can they do that, though? I don't know.
I mean, a lot of restaurants are doing it. In Mountain Brook, it was crazy. We have a lot of friends that live up there, and of course, that's where my girls are right now. And they're playing rec league baseball and softball, and there was like a bunch of games going on at a little rec area. And it turned out one of the coaches of basketball stopped the game, notified all the parents, and took all the kids off the field in the middle of the game. We heard that on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because one of the coaches had tested positive with coronavirus, but I think he had flown back from London.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and of course.
One of those type things, like, you know, in the rural areas where these people don't travel as much and, you know, are not, you know, in planes flying all over the country and all over the world. You know, I was telling my wife, I was like, man, Mountain Brook, people can do whatever they want to do. They fly all over the world and, you know, get on planes all the time. And, you know, that might be the worst place to be at a crisis like this.
Well, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you right now. Maybe I am running scared. Probably the worst thing you can do is probably run scared of the worst. And of course, you know, you can't help but watch and listen to all these.
It's on 24 hours a day.
But I tell you what, the last thing in the world that you better not do is take this thing for granted. You better get ready. Now, you've had your cough forever, and of course yours was pneumonia, and you're trying to get off of it. Now, if you had a chance to be tested, would you be tested?
If I started getting symptoms, I guess I would. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I'm the same way.
In Troy, they're going to do testing, and they've already got 4 places in Birmingham open to go do testing. They've been doing testing in Birmingham.
I'm in the vulnerable group because obviously my lungs are weakened since I've had pneumonia twice in 1 year.
Is this in the United States, Steve?
It's the United States and worldwide.
Okay.
Where are they doing testing in Troy?
Well, I don't know.
That was March 9th.
On March the 9th, we were.
They're not going to do anything at like Walmart.
The seriousness of symptoms was mild, like flu, stay at home. Severe, they were 13.8% severe, and that was severe hospitalization, and 4.7% was critical intensive care.
So in other words, 81% of people it was mild and they could stay at home.
Exactly.
20% had to go to the hospital, and that's the run on the hospitals that everybody's worried about. They call it a surge. There's only so many beds, so many intensive care beds, so many ventilators and respirators, that if there's a little surge in one community, it can overwhelm your hospital.
Well, and something that I did hear that was very good to hear is like the ventilators. Some of the things that they're going to need more than anything is that they have a tremendous amount of these type of facilities nationwide. I mean, they have a tremendous amount of this, and you know, everybody says these folks with the health departments and so forth were not very ready, but they are. They claim that they have plenty of them.
A lot more ICU beds and units and ventilators than any other country by far, which is really good because from what I've read, if you get really good care and you have these ventilators that'll breathe for you, you're gonna survive, or likely survive. It's when you don't have access to these things that you could become a fatality.
Nationwide, the total nationwide confirmed cases. This was a few days ago. Currently ill 40%. Recovered 56%, and died 3.5%. So out of the total, that's right. A total worldwide.
3.5%. If you got the death rate, in other words, is higher than I thought, 3.5%. So you got a 96.5% chance if you're diagnosed with this to die from it. But that's in other third world countries that don't have these ventilators and good hospitals. I'm sure in America it would be that 3.5 figure might be one. You know, you would have a 99% chance to survive.
Of course, we were looking at worldwide, you know, a list of all these other diseases, and the coronavirus had what was that, 56% what?
56 deaths
Deaths compared, okay.
compared to all those other things. Tuberculosis killed 3,014.
Already
I guess that's during the time, since the outbreak.
Yeah.
Corona had killed 56 people. Tuberculosis had killed 3,014. Let's see, rabies.
Look at rabies,
Yeah.
man.
Typhoid, yellow fever,
Measles.
seasonal flu had killed 1,027.
Yeah.
That's just the regular flu.
During this period of time,
That's
it's
what
amazing.
context.
And of course, the stats sort of speak for themselves. But at the same time, Mike, I think everybody and somebody's taking this thing very seriously because every report I get is it looks like that very easily we could become a part of the world that is putting more emphasis on staying away from the public's eye and stop being around.
I've got all the current numbers. If you want to go and see all the cases throughout the world and in the United States and all the numbers in total, it's called World-O-Meter. It's talking about the coronavirus outbreak. So cases around the world right now, you have 173,167 deaths around the world. You have 6,604. The biggest thing is recovered. These are people that have already recovered from the virus. That's 78,000 people have already recovered from the virus.
78,000?
Yeah, you've got 88,000 active cases. 93% are mild condition. That's 82,777. 5,937 are serious or critical. Closed cases, that means people that have already, either been discharged. You got 77,789 that have been recovered or discharged. And then, like I mentioned before, you got 6,664 deaths around the world. Now, if you want just a breakdown of the United States and all these other countries, I have all that as well.
Okay, yes, we want to hear everything we can hear. And
if anybody wants to check it out, it's a great site to go on. It's called World-O-Meter.
World-O-Meter.
World-O-Meters.
O-meters, okay.
A buddy sent me this app yesterday. So right now in China had 80,000 cases, almost 81,000. They've had 3,213 deaths.
Wait, say that again, please.
3,213 deaths in China. They've had over almost 68,000 people totally recover from the virus. Italy right now has 24,000 cases, almost 25,000, and they have 1,800 deaths so far. Iran is another high number. They have 15,000 cases and 853 deaths. Spain has almost 9,000 cases, and they have 297 deaths. South Korea has almost 8,000 cases, 75 deaths. Germany has 6,000 cases and 13 deaths.
Yeah. Are these people that have already been tested? These people been tested?
To be defined as a case, you had to have been tested.
These are people that have died.
I know.
Confirmed to have taken the test and been confirmed to have the virus.
The United States of America right now, total cases out there is 3,802, and they have 69 deaths so far.
So the percentages are not that bad, are they?
And 69 deaths, how many of those are nursing home patients? It's 50 of them probably. So you got 19 people that are... I've seen a lot of people interviewed, like Tom Hanks has it, and the Prime Minister of Canada's wife has it, and I've seen a couple of people interviewed, and the regular, normal, healthy people are not dying from this disease. Now here's the threat is that they can have it and spread it to someone who could die from it. That's why they're taking all these precautions.
Like in Mexico, you got 53 cases total, 0 deaths. Some of these warmer areas, like it's going to be in the 80s again down here today. I mean, they say a virus can't live when it's over 80 degrees. But I mean, I don't know if this is different or not.
They say it is, but I think that the warm weather is going to help us a lot.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what.
Other places, you know, like Turkey, there's no cases, no nothing. You know, Israel is totally under control there. There's hardly any cases, you know, 0 deaths. I mean, it's just different in different places. The Caribbean, you're seeing no cases, no deaths, no nothing.
The Caribbean.
It's time to go to the Caribbean.
Is it because, how about Hawaii and places like that?
Well, I mean, Hawaii's under the United States.
Yeah.
But I mean, this has all the information. It has total cases, has new cases, total deaths, new deaths, total recovery, active cases.
Yeah. All right. Well,
it has recovery as well.
yeah. All right. What I'd like to do, if you don't mind. All right. Let's go back to right now. Compare. All right. China. How many people has China? Is it growing in numbers, or is it?
It's going down.
Is it going down?
New cases are going down rapidly in China.
What are the figures in China right now?
China has active cases 9,896.
All right, active.
Serious cases, they have over 3,226. Serious or critical condition.
3,226.
Yeah.
Bad.
Compared to their population, it's definitely going down.
Yeah. And then how many people have died from this disease in China?
3,213.
All right, 3,213.
What is there, 3 or 4 billion people in China?
Yeah, I know.
We had this trivia question the other day. It's 1.25 billion. It's a little bigger than India, but it's 4 times the population of America.
What did you say? 1.25 billion.
So you do the math. Divide 3,000. A calculator won't even go out that many decimal points. 3,000 into 1.25 billion. Billion is 9 zeros.
Yeah. All right. Tell us about.
Italy, you can understand why it's shutting down because their population compared to the number of cases is pretty scary.
Yeah. Tell us about Italy, and let's see what their situation is.
25,000 cases. Already 1,800 deaths.
How many thousand cases?
Almost 25,000.
All right.
And their death rate is much higher than the rest of the world.
All right.
I mean, that's why you got to be scared if you're Italy. I mean, compared to like the United States, there's only 3,800 cases. Compared to Italy, has 25,000 cases.
Yeah.
Italy has the world's oldest population, I've heard, or one of them.
Okay. How many people are 25,000 people in Italy? How do they look right now?
Well, I mean, we already mentioned they had 1,800 deaths. They got
1,800 deaths.
total recovery. You got 2,400 people that recovered. Active cases, you got 20,603. You know, serious critical condition cases, you got almost 1,700. And it says in total cases, 1 million populace, it's 4 up 9.3 is their number.
So you got a death rate in Italy of about 7% if you get it. And that's a function of their elderly population. Everybody that's getting in Italy is, the people that are going into the hospital are probably 70 and older.
What kind of cough is that you got, son?
Well, I think this is a cough considering pollen and maybe
Yeah.
too much fun last night.
I hope a lot of people don't take it like that. All right, so Italy, out of 25,000, out of 25,000 people that have been told they have the virus, 1,800 have died, and 1,700 more are probably going to die. So we're almost 4,000, around 4,000 people in Italy have either died or probably going to die because they're in bad shape.
I hope that's not the case. I mean, it says serious, critical, so critical.
Yeah, I know, which is bad, yeah. Now, you know something, they were accusing the United States of not having enough equipment to help all these people. And it turns out we have a tremendous, they say we have a tremendous amount of the equipment needed to take care of our people. Is that true?
I've read that we have more ICU beds and, ventilators than anybody else by far. And those are the two things you want to have when
And want to buy even more, you know.
Now, we don't have the tests that other nations seem to have had to determine if anybody has it.
All right, take a look at France now.
If you got in the car today, I know they have testing stations in Birmingham. They're supposed to start, I think, later this week at Walmarts and CVS and Walgreens. There's supposed to be testing stations. I would think Troy would be a part of that.
Well, we need to talk about the local situation. The local schools have been canceled as of Wednesday.
They're canceled. I mean, now they came back and said in Birmingham, I know they were going to have to go 3 days, but that got canceled as well.
I think it's optional. It's an excused absence if you did not go to school today. So I'm sure the attendance figures are way down at Troy City Schools. Now, I haven't heard anything about Pike Liberal Arts. Have you heard anything, Mike?
No, I haven't. But I would think they would be closed.
I'm real interested in the private schools because the private schools depend on tuition to pay their staff and teachers. I don't know how many of these private schools have big reserves. I guess they're going to have to borrow money to, pay the teacher salaries when you don't have students coming to school. Yeah. And I'm also really worried about the little daycare centers, that if they are closed, which I think is coming, how are the little daycare centers going to be able to pay their, helpers for an extended period of time?
Yeah.
We're totally shut down here. Our preschools have been canceled.
Yeah.
Well, ours right now, where Jackie is.
Our kids don't go back until they're on spring break right now, but right now they don't have us going back until the 30th of March. But we've already paid our teachers and everybody through the month.
You pay in advance. We don't. Mine, I don't have to pay in advance.
We pay every month.
Yeah.
The start of the month. Yeah.
All right, the Troy City Schools. What's the situation there?
They closed as of. I don't know if they're going to school Wednesday or not, but Wednesday's the last day. And then they.
So they're still open till Wednesday. Is that right?
Optional. You can.
Some schools have closed that three-day window.
Yeah,
so if parents do not want to send their children to school during this period of time, they can. Is that right?
Yeah. If parents don't want to send their kids to school anytime, in my opinion.
Well, I know it, but I mean, to be.
They won't have an unexcused absence. So.
So when you say most of the people have taken their children out of school?
No, I think most people got to go to work and are scrambling and nervous wrecks, figuring out how am I going to keep little Jack and little Maggie at home.
Who can we call and find out about all this?
Well, we know that the schools were definitely closing for sure after Wednesday, but
yeah, but why in the world would you wait to Wednesday? Why would you wait to Wednesday?
Probably to give people time.
A lot of counties have come back and said that they're going to close officially already.
I don't even have a phone number. That's how good shape I'm in. I need a number for the Pike Liberal Arts and a number for. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Let's find out about what we got to do.
Yeah, let's find out.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
I've been working for this my whole life. The chance to relax on the open water. With my financial institution, Max, my Achieve checking account earns dividends. So I'm free to do what I love.
Piggly Wiggly's local butchers are on site at both stores and will help you select the best cuts of meat and trim them to your liking. Our USDA Choice beef is the most consistently tender, juicy, and flavorful beef you can buy, all at cost plus 10%.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
All right, we're back.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, and we're knocking around here this morning, and you know as much or more than we do.
Cancel their spring practices too. You know, at one time they were going to be able to practice, still have spring football, but just no games. But now that they've done away with that as well, so you can't even practice football right now.
Let me tell you this: anybody that is foolish enough to practice football when everybody else is trying to beat this virus is crazy. If one person comes down with the virus, they could sue this place until they would never quit.
I know, but I'm just saying. I mean, at one point they thought that they were going to be able to practice.
Well, they postponed it. They haven't written it off for sure. Like Steve just said, there's one school of thought that when this hot weather comes, this virus disappears, and if it disappears in a hurry, or the new cases start going down in a hurry, they would still have time to have spring practice in May or late April, right?
Yeah, I mean, this virus is going to come back again in the winter months. I mean, it's going to be around for years. I mean, hopefully by then they'll have a vaccine.
That's the one point I keep making is we're setting a precedent here that when one of these pandemics hits, what you got to do is close everything. You know, it starts with the arenas, and then pretty soon it's the restaurants and the bars and any place with more than 10 people. So, I mean, what do we do the next time this happens? We let the stock market take another 20%. You see what happened? You see what's happening to gold and silver? These are supposed to be the safe haven assets that you get for just an emergency like this. Real money, all this government printing of money, gold and silver should be doing great, right? Silver is down 35%. Gold is down about 20%. It makes no sense to me.
Alabama now officially has 22 cases of the coronavirus.
22 cases, and we're going crazy.
You got 12 in Jefferson County, which is expected. That's a huge county. Tuscaloosa County has 3 cases. Shelby County has 2. Baldwin County has 1. Elmore County has 1. Lee County has 1. Poundstone County has 1, and Montgomery County has 1.
Somebody said that one of the cases in Montgomery County was a guy that was had been to the casino. Mike had been to the casino.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, you walk in there, you wonder how many of them have been tested. No telling us how many.
You saw what the Indians did with their casino. They said, we're going to shut it down for one day and thoroughly clean everything. But they're back open today.
Yeah. Let me just say this, that...
if you want to go to the state that doesn't have the coronavirus, positive results and tests, West Virginia is the only state that doesn't have it.
West Virginia does not have a case to compare to everybody else.
With that good stuff, that moonshine?
Oh, boy, I don't know. But I'll tell you this, that's the problem. I'm thinking the problem is this, and this is what these doctors are saying. Now you can, and again, I am just Mike Amos talking. What's going to turn out that's going to happen is we're going to have very few people compared percentage-wise to have actually been tested for this virus. We're going to find out that thousands and thousands and thousands
more have it.
People they're going to find out that they've got the virus, and we're talking about throughout the country.
I think what's
people that have actually gone and had been tested, and very few people. You reckon how many people in Alabama have been tested? I bet it's not even 100.
Yeah, I bet you're right. Yeah.
I mean, this is all crazy. And ladies and gentlemen,
when they do testing, like the drive-through testing in Troy at the CVS and Walgreens and Walmarts, would y'all go get tested?
Oh yes, I would, wouldn't you?
I mean, even if you didn't have symptoms.
That you wouldn't get tested?
I know, but I mean, you got to have
Yeah, that's right.
They want to conserve the tests because they don't have many tests. So
All right, well,
You don't want to be a spot in line if a line, is, down the road, if you don't even have symptoms yet.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, you're right. I'm sure you can look at it this way, but I think everybody that is responsible needs to be checked out. And what one person says is, and put the ones that are infected in one area and leave the ones that are not infected in another area. They say it would be much easier to take care of if the people that are what is it, not positive for the virus, put them in one area and
on this,
I hate it. That's the way it looks, but I'm thinking we're going to see things like that.
when you cancel school, has anybody thought about it's done for the safety of the kids, which we all understand? But you think you're sending 55 million kids home, a certain percentage of them are going to be unsupervised. They ain't going to have mom or grandmama home with them. Or they might not have mom, they might have some teenager with them. So you're going to have a lot more trips to the emergency room from unsupervised kids. You're going to have teenagers that are out that would have been in school that are now going to have all this free time on their hand. They're going to be doing what? They're going to be driving the car more often. So you're going to have more car accidents involving teenagers. You're going to have more slips and falls in the house, kids falling in the pool, stepping in fire ant, but all the accidents that you prevent as a parent when you say, no, stop.
Yeah.
There ain't going to be those parents at a lot of these homes to say that. So I would predict that you're going to have a lot more kids who are hurt from just being at home with no good supervision than would have gotten sick and died from the virus.
I'll tell you one thing. That we go back to what we were talking about last week about you. We can't take this thing for granted. We like we're doing. We're saying, sure, right now, only 22 Alabamians have the virus. Is that right?
yeah, that's updated numbers according to AL.com.
How many thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands, do you think have the virus and just have not been checked?
How many people would be for closing everything and everybody's self-quarantining in their house for
2 weeks?
Shut down the whole
For
world.
2 weeks, and that means go out and buy your food.
Wow, this is huge news here. Chick-fil-A has closed dining rooms. Wow.
Chick-fil-A.
That is a big place. A lot of people love to go.
Closed dining rooms.
Well, here's what happens when they have these announcements, be they basketball tournaments or schools. When somebody big does it, everybody else follows.
Yeah.
So Chick-fil-A's the first, so McDonald's and Wendy's.
Yeah, that is a huge statement.
All right. Can you get it to go, though? Can you get it to go?
Yeah, a dining room just means you can just still use the drive-thru.
Yeah, all right. So you can still buy it to go.
But that means that all restaurants are going to they're going to close their dining rooms. All food, you can just hope that the takeout and the drive-thru will be open.
How about Bird Drugs? They don't have a to-go unless you walk in and get it, and so forth.
No, we'll talk to Joe
Wow,
Watson.
this is huge, too. MGM closing all resorts.
That right there is big. MGM in Las
Vegas Properties, the company owns Las Vegas hotels such as Aria, Bellagio, Mandalay Bay, MGM Grand, New York, New York.
Yeah. Let me ask this.
It's Park MGM. Casinos and those hotels will shut down Monday.
If this is not the truth, if this is not the problem, if this is not to the worst thing scenario, what is? I mean, let me tell you something. You would think would be the last people that would shut down. But hey, let me tell you this. This thing is serious. This thing is serious. Go to the grocery.
They're going to die from it, though. I don't want people to feel like they're going to.
You're right. I'm not talking about death as much as I am about getting sick.
What I'm talking about is
you're going to have a lot of people probably, doomsday, and people are going to be so depressed.
You're going to have a big increase in suicides in about 2 or 3 months from the financial strain and hardship this thing is causing. There's no doubt about it in my mind. People are already nervous, living paycheck to paycheck. We just said MGM is closing all their resorts. Think of all the working class people that waited tables and worked in these, served beer at these places and were dealers at blackjack, they are suddenly, you know, they're going to have, what, 2 or 3 weeks?
Do you think if MGM was not convinced that we have a terrible, terrible virus out there, that would they have shut down? No.
I think they've got. I mean, there's just there's such pressure being put on all these people from the government and everybody else that there'll be a backlash if they're danged if they do and danged if they don't. Really.
All right, next, Mike, up to date. How many?
How would you like to be UAB's basketball coach? He got fired, and Rob Buson, the head men's basketball coach, got fired, and they just won a tournament game, and still had games to play. Of course, they canceled the season. I think UAB finished 19 and 13, but he's lost his job with all this going on.
Oh boy, a pretty good coach too. You know, right now, some of the worst places that you could go, and something I missed this weekend because I like to go to movies. But if you get a jam-packed movie audience and everybody coughing, I'll tell you how bad it's getting to me. And ladies and gentlemen, again, I might take this thing more serious, but I think everybody needs to take it serious. I pulled over and was going to get a bite to eat coming back from the beach this weekend. And I said, well, that'll be a good place to eat. So I sat down there and I ordered my food. And I heard a cough right behind me. I heard a cough over to the side of me. I heard another cough. And I said, ma'am, is it too late to get my food to go? And she said, no, sir. So she gave me food to go. And I got it. And I didn't eat it until about 8 o'clock last night. but and then,
you get out all the time. How many restaurants you go to at the beach this weekend?
Oh, I didn't go to many. Let's see. I wanted to go to that all-you-can-eat catfish, and I didn't do it for $15.
Buffets at this time is going to be a tough sell.
Yeah.
You think it is?
Yeah, I mean, how can you control people sneezing and?
I know it. You're right.
The utensils, the food.
I say that the genie is out of the bottle. The panic is too far gone. You ain't gonna control it, so it's gonna go to virtually everything closed. Now, here's what's gonna get really scary: is when the banks close. But my prediction is the financial catastrophe that is going to spring up from this.
How long do you think they'll probably leave their?
It's going to be so much greater than the
ATM machines will still have to be open.
ATM and possibly your drive-throughs might be still located open too. And again, please understand that I'm just like you are. I'm concerned, and maybe you say Mike Amos is chicken. Well, heck, I'll be chicken. And I made sure that yesterday I went and just fooling around, bought about 20 canned goods of some kind of soup or some kind of something that all I had to do was open a can to make something. I wanted to make sure that I had water, plenty of water. Now, this is not a water thing, is it? I mean,
everybody. I don't know why everybody buys
I know. I mean, I don't think water is going to be I don't think will it be an issue, but but bread. See, thing about bread, a lot of people don't realize is that you can freeze it and then just stick it in your toaster, and you've got good bread.
What I wish I had right now is a big freezer. I don't have one, so I can't.
I don't
either.
I have
stuff I can put in my freezer.
Yeah, I agree with you. I tell you what would be really good. I probably shouldn't even mention it this morning, but go by and see if they got in that camp stew left. See, that would be real good.
Well, the preppers aren't looking so wacko these days, are they? Everybody made fun of all this.
Yeah.
I've been expecting some kind of economic catastrophe for years. The debt and the deficits and the money printing in the stock market bubble. I said at some point it's going to blow up. It's going to explode, and it's happening right now.
Well, and again.
But what I did to prepare was get into precious metals, and they're being. I think they're rigged, and who would have thought that they would be knocked down?
You know,
you would think that everybody would be buying gold and silver right now.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you this. I'm ready to forget about that right now. I'm worried about living and dying.
Well, here's what's going to happen, Mike. You're getting ready to have a Great Depression.
It could be, couldn't it?
Great Depression, everybody. It could happen. I'm not saying it is. Well, let me finish my thought. If you have a Great Depression, sometime that Great Depression is going to end and the coronavirus is going to end, you want to come out the other side of that Great Depression with as much as your net worth and wealth as you can. The risk is everybody is going to lose, if not everything, then most of everything. Stock market was 30,000. I'm sure it's going to plunge today. They pumped it back up 10% in 1 hour on Friday, but that's going to reverse today. Your pension programs, the retirement system of Alabama, its portfolio is going to plummet, so the state legislature is going to have to prop up and make up the difference so people can get their retirement benefits. That means that the state government is going to have to cut back somewhere, or what do they do? I mean, you see the ripple effects I'm talking about? There's things that we haven't even thought about, and 2 or 3 months from now, it's the economic devastation that is going to get it. I wasn't exaggerating when I said there are going to be suicides, depression.
That worldwide.
Hollins is also going to be offering testing. I don't know if that means they'll be offering testing off their Taylor Road branch location. I know they're going to start doing it at their Birmingham location, so that'll be another place to get tested.
Let's think about churches. They've canceled churches or will cancel churches. I mean, that's like Chick-fil-A. It's going to happen. Well, most of these churches depend on what? The collection plate being passed every Sunday for their cash flow to pay people, and that's going to dry up and go away.
Well, hopefully the Lord won't let that happen.
Closed in a lot of places, same areas on the Highlands where we went. Episcopal Church in Birmingham downtown is closed for 3 weeks. Our church down here is closed. Christ the King. Wind Creek Casino extends closure until March 30th, so you can't go to Wind Creek until March 30th. I'm going to give this 2 weeks starting today. So today is the 16th. I'm going to be really interested what our conversations are going to be like 2 weeks from now.
Me too, Mike. Yeah.
All this. I mean, I feel like by then we'll have a better gauge of how long this is going to last.
I think so too.
So you're looking on the 30th. March the 30th would be 2 weeks from now.
I think that's good. I'm going to do the same thing. 2 or 3 weeks. Let's see what the employ. I was talking to somebody that has a couple of employees, and I was talking about the school closing, and I said, what are you going to do? He said, well, either they're going to go home or they're going to bring their kids to work, which I guess a lot of people, if they'll let them, employers will let them, there's going to be a lot of kids go into workplaces, offices.
That's right.
I don't know, as far as how they can control this in a prison setting as well with prisoners. If they were to get this, I don't know how you can control that at all.
Yeah. Let's see what the Troy City Schools have to say here this morning. Or Pike Liberal Arts, we'll find out from them real quick. Let's see here. Let's find out about Pike Liberal Arts School, what their situation is. I would think they would probably be closed, but we'll find out.
Good morning, Pike Liberal Arts. This is Jackie.
Yes, ma'am. Let me ask you this. Are your schools open?
No, sir. I mean, our school is, we're open for people to come and get their personal items and things today till 1 o'clock.
Personal items till 1 o'clock, but no school at all. Is that right?
How long are y'all suspended classes?
Right now until April 6th.
Okay. April 6th, and that is just zero school, nothing on the computer or anything like that.
That, from what I've been told, that's correct.
And they have till what time today to pick up personal items and so forth?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Well, we do appreciate that, and you'll be open. You'll hopefully come back on April the 6th.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you very much, yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So that is one right there. Let's see here. We'll look at Charles Henderson High School.
That's 3510.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I could. You already knew that.
I knew that from my reporting days.
And anybody could do this, but I'm doing this more or less for my own use. Calling Charles Henderson High School.
Charles Henderson High School, this is Ms. Fox.
Good morning. Are y'all still open at Charles Henderson?
Yes, sir, through Wednesday.
Through Wednesday, and then you're going to shut down till what date? Do you know?
We will come back on April the 6th.
April the 6th. And but you will be open tomorrow. It is. I mean, are all students supposed to be there through Wednesday, or how does that work?
They may come through Wednesday, yes, sir.
But they wanted to not come in. Could they do? Would they be excused?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They would be excused if they. Have you had a lot of kids not to show up today, or what?
I think we're pretty short today.
All right, so most of your kids are going ahead and are closing down school until the 6th.
A lot are, but the doors are open.
Yeah, okay.
If they want to come,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
All your athletic events and so forth have also been canceled?
Yes, sir, as of right now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Back to Mike Amos, Mike, and we found out that this April the 6th date is a date which they hope that these schools can open back up. What is the significance there? 14 days or what?
The significance of April 6th is when the greatest gift of your life happened.
You were born?
That's right. My children were born April the 6th.
You know what? That was my mom's birthday too, y'all. Marsha Rice's birthday is April 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my wife's grandmother's birthday as well.
Wow.
Well, Goshen High School and the Pike County High Schools and Luverne High Schools.
Probably the same.
Pike County school system would be pretty much the same. Is that right?
My wife said that she was just in her classes. Whoever showed up, they're reading some book, Into the Wild. We talked about it a week or so ago, and there's been a movie made of that book. And what she's going to do in her classes is just let them watch that movie.
I'm going to put you on hold 1 second if you don't mind, my friend. See if that one would actually catch up there. Let's see. Oh, let's do it again here. We're calling Troy University and see exactly what their time period is.
Thank you for calling Troy University. If you know your party's extension number, you can dial it at any time. One moment, please.
And hopefully they'll give us this basic information. A lot of people already know this, that their school...
Troy University operator.
Yes, ma'am. Is school out? Is school out right now?
The classes, in-person classes.
All right. But internet classes are open or what?
Yes, correct.
Till what date? Do you have any certain date?
No.
All right.
Open until they're finished.
Okay. So you can go to Troy on the internet, but all the dorms closed too. They pretty much closed.
They're all open.
They're all open. The dorms, and how about the cafeterias and things like that?
Everything is open.
Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
So we can go get our breakfast.
That's right. We sure could. We go eat a good breakfast this morning. In fact, it'd be a lot more kids conscious about eating breakfast than normal, I would think. Wouldn't you think?
Well, they say it's important to eat breakfast, but then we're also talking about how we're scared to go to a restaurant.
You know, Troy University is considered one of the top internet programs in the country.
That's going to come in handy now.
And it's really coming in handy now. And the guys that put all that together should be recognized for a great thing. So.
Does Troy have a campus now in San Antonio? I think I read the other day.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Like San Antonio, Texas?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I'll have to admit, I don't know about y'all, but I'm a huge sports guy. Anybody knows that listens to me. Of course, I just grew up that way, and it was really, really tough for me this weekend. Boy.
Yeah. Well, I was at least looking forward to golf. It seemed like...
I'm going to watch basketball. March Madness is one of my favorite times of year. No Players Championship. I mean, it's tough for me with no sports in the world.
You know, I talked to Colin McCrary. I'm working on finished the feature story on Griff. And Colin is everybody knows he is the branch manager of Wells Fargo Advisors here in Troy. Big golf lover, and he's been a spotter for NBC Sports for many years. So he goes to these big golf tournaments. And he went to the TPC in Ponte Vedra Beach to be a spotter, like he always does. So he was down there, and they played one round. And I asked him, I said, what was it like, Colin? He said it was surreal. He said there's normally 50 or 60,000 people in the gallery on Thursday, and he said there are about 10,000. He said he's not surprised they canceled it because there's so many people from overseas, all over the world, that are at a golf tournament, even just playing in it or working for NBC or the PGA. And then I was thinking about golf more. That's the one sport where you've got to play and play well to get a paycheck. So the golfers are not going to be paid, and their caddies are not going to be paid as long as there are no tournaments.
Yeah.
And there ain't going to be a tournament for at least 4 weeks.
Yeah, we're trying to inform as many of you as we can about different things. Healthcare facilities in Troy are making steps to help reduce the potential for the coronavirus, corona. Yeah.
You better learn to pronounce it like corona.
I'm getting tickled like you, like the coronavirus from entering the facilities. Troy Regional Medical Center CEO Rick Smith said recently implemented changes to the visitation policies are designed to protect the health of not just the patients, but as the public as well. We are making adjustments to our visitation policies because we want to protect patients first and foremost, but also team members, physicians, and the public, Smith said. The hospital this week restricted visitors under the age of 16 and limited in-room visitors to 2 at a time. Wear a mask when they enter the Troy Regional Medical Center. So that is very important. The Alabama Department of Public Health on Thursday reiterated that no confirmed cases of the virus have been identified, but that was this was dated on March the 13th. So, like we said over the weekend last week, that we would hear
22,
more.
22 so far.
And of course, and of course, however, more than 1,500 cases have been confirmed in the United States, with 39 deaths, and more information coming up, I'm sure. Mike, give us a total right now for the nation, and then the total for our state of Alabama.
I mean, well, you said there's 22 cases in the state of Alabama.
Yes, 22 cases.
So far, no reported deaths.
Yeah.
In Alabama that I've seen. Have y'all heard of any deaths?
No, I hadn't heard. But don't you think the reason...
Coronavirus up to date, this is the worldometer. It's a great site if you want to go on and look at all the numbers.
What is it again?
World O Meter.
World O Meter.
WORLDOMeter.info/coronavirus.
Okay.
Does this also break down the state of Alabama too? Does it give you those stats?
This is just breaking it down by countries. But anyway, coronavirus worldwide is almost 174,000 cases, 6,680 deaths. Recoveries, which I think is important to read, is also is 78,000 people have recovered. Active cases, you got 89,327. Closed cases, you've got 84,506.
So about half of them have gotten well. Is that right?
Over 92%.
92%. So,
I was reading the story on AL.com before about sports, Mike, and this isn't the first time that sports seasons have been canceled. In 1918, University of Alabama canceled their football season partially because of World War I or coming World War I, but just as important was the Spanish flu outbreak.
Yeah.
And I just assumed that season was canceled because of World War I, but according to this story, this was the time the Spanish flu hit, and they said the Spanish flu ended up killing 647,000 Americans back when the population of America was only 102 million. So there was a big pandemic scare in 1918 as well.
Yeah. So we're saying what's the percentage of the people that have found positive for the virus, and how many people have gotten well? Evidently, what we're treating the virus will.
There's a worldwide numbers I was given.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
The United States numbers, the percentages are a lot better.
Oh yeah, and evidently the things we're doing to combat this virus are working. Is that right? Like penicillin, would that be very important?
No.
Antibiotics, would that be important?
Any vitamins, your emergencies, your airbornes, stuff like that is important to take. Of course, eating healthy and, doing continue to do your exercise and stuff like that.
All right, well, listen, I'm talking about people with the virus. They're going to have to do more than that, or they're going to die. They've got to be treated, don't they?
The virus, a lot of people are I've listened to 2 or 3 different people, and they say that, with quarantine, they drink an unbelievable amount of Gatorades and stuff like that. They probably do a lot of, like, IVs and stuff like that to, boost their immune system and stuff like
but
that.
if we get in a situation where we just have hundreds and thousands of people that have been
we haven't. I'll
found that have the virus, it seems like that what would we do? That's what I want to know. That's what bothers me.
We haven't seen many interviews of people who have had it and recovered. CNN showed one lady, 37 years old. She had it.
Coffee, please.
She said she had 102-degree temperature one night. The next day it was 101. After that, she was fine. She had a couple of days she didn't feel good. Didn't sound like she was bedridden, or she could still tweet and work. She had an outbreak in Washington State, and she said all of her friends suddenly got it too, and they're all fine. They interviewed her, and she seemed as chipper and healthy as I've ever seen a person doing.
Yeah.
And that's an example of a 37-year-old typical woman that had the virus, and it barely slowed her up.
Yeah.
She was down.
But
like this flu that we just had. A lot of people are they're missing school and work for a week, 4 days. It sounds like it's like this, or maybe even milder for most people. Now, if you're in this other group, it's critical. If you're older and or if you have some pre-existing condition, And that's who they're worried about.
Would they think you got pre-existing?
I think I'm in that group. I am taking it seriously, Mike, because with my recent pneumonias, that's telling me that my respiration is not as good as most people.
How long have you had that?
I've had
pneumonia?
2 pneumonias in the last 11 months. 10 months.
Oh yeah. Of course,
some people say I've never really got through it.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this pneumonia that I've had the last 2 times, it laid me out and was rough, man. I mean, I see these people that have had the coronavirus tweeting and doing stuff and looking. It took me a lot of energy to get out of bed, walk to the computer. And I remember one time I had to send somebody an email about something. Just took tremendous effort to get to that computer, and then when I got to it, my mind wasn't working right.
All right, but your problem is that you hopefully you just had the
had pneumonia.
Pneumonia, yeah.
Which I think is probably worse than what most people are going through with.
Yeah, no question. All right, right now, Mike, what's the numbers for Alabama, the state of Alabama?
Still just 22 cases. I hadn't going on.
That is unreal
and the
amount.
population of Alabama is 5 million people.
Yeah, that is a very small percentage, very small.
No cases in Pike County so far.
And you know, we were looking at this information Steve gave me, and you look at.
If you had any place like you could go right now, like I mean, would you want to go to the mountains, like to a cabin in the mountains? Would you want to go to the beach? Like where would you want to go for your 2 weeks if they shut everything down?
Bahamas.
You wouldn't think that there'd be many people in the mountains. I would think that would be good. I think mountains probably would be better.
I got tons of friends that have like cabins out in the middle of nowhere, out in the woods.
Yeah.
I would think places like that would be a pretty good place to go.
Yeah. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Piggly Wiggly's local butchers are on site at both stores and will help you select the best cuts of meat and trim them to your liking. Our USDA Choice beef is the most consistently tender, juicy, and flavorful beef you can buy, all at cost plus 10%.
Ford Truck Month is going on now at Bill Jackson Ford, and folks, we have the deal for you. Take up to $6,000 off MSRP and get 0% APR for 72 months for huge savings on a new 2019 Ford F-150. Select new 2019 Ford Mustang starting at an incredibly low $23,900. Or drive home a select new 2019 Ford Escape starting at just $18,900. Bill Jackson is the name you've trusted for over 30 years. Check us out on Highway 231 in Troy or online at BillJacksonFord.com.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you were out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
We're in 2 nursing homes.
Yeah. Hello, all you ATO guys out there. From the ATO fraternity, they just got through walking 128 miles from Troy, Alabama to Panama City. And on Wednesday of this past week, the fraternity landed after a 6-day hike to Panama City Beach. And they raised $61,000.
$61,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Thumbs up, kids. Good job.
For Jeep Sullivan's Wounded Warrior outdoor adventures. I hope I hope this young man, his name is Jeep Sullivan. Hope he's spending that money in the right places.
Yeah.
And of course, they have raised money for this cause since the 2009. And
I hope you talk about good charities. Are people going to be as likely to give to a charity now that they're worried about their own family's nest egg? Probably charitable donations are going to take a big hit too.
You know, something we haven't thought about. Think about this. You need some cash. That sounds funny, but I would think you would need a certain amount of cash. Then
is there going to be a run on the banks with everybody all of a sudden deciding they need cash? Then that's when the banks close. Then that's when you have a real panic.
And hopefully that's not going to be the case. And
I wouldn't rule it out.
Exactly right. Right now, worldwide, there are more cases of tuberculosis than anything. Then hepatitis B is bad, and boy, once you get that, that's not good.
These are deaths in America since the coronavirus happened.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so you had 56.
That's
you
right.
had more people that
have died. You're right. Tuberculosis 3,014 because of course, a lot of people really are still smoking real bad and breathing in bad.
Tuberculosis has always been a big killer.
Hepatitis B 2000 was second, 2,430. Pneumonia 2016. That is pneumonia now. HIV. People forget about AIDS. They had 2011 people that died. Malaria, that's in one certain part of the world, 2002. Shinglelosis, whatever shinglelosis is, caused severe diarrhea and kidney problems, 16,000. Rotavirus, 1,233. Seasonal flu, 1,028. And they just told us we got four more minutes. But the measles were more than the COVID.
Rabies was far more.
Yeah, rabies, 162 rabies problems. Yellow fever, 82. And then the coronavirus, 56.
I killed your water moccasin, I think, yesterday, Dad.
Did you? Wait a minute, I want to hear this. Where'd you catch him?
I caught him right where you said you saw him.
Yeah. You shot him with a shotgun or what?
No, I killed him with a hoe.
I'm glad you did that, son. I'm proud of you. You didn't run from that snake. You stood up to him and killed him. Is that right?
I just got off the beach, and I literally was taking, we got off the beach truck, and we got a fence put up yesterday. We had some work getting done, and I was going to go throw something away, and I literally came back, and it was right there, in between the two houses, like where you said you saw it that day.
How big was he, Mike? We're talking about he killed a water moccasin.
It was a poisonous water moccasin?
I mean, it looked like it to me. It had the pointed head, and it looked just like a water moccasin.
Yeah, you had a triangle-type head, Mike?
Triangle-type head, exactly. Yeah.
All right, how big was he? How long would you say he was?
I don't know if I killed. I mean, this one wasn't that long. This is only probably 3.5 feet.
Well, that's pretty long. Was he fat?
I mean, he was pretty. Yeah, it was pretty. Fat snake, but it looked just like a water moccasin.
And you stood up to him, and killed him. I'm so proud of you, son.
Y'all heard when I said that kids are out, 50 million kids are out of school. You don't think that some kids are going to be playing in the yards and the woods, and they're going to encounter what? Snakes.
And Mike, underneath those houses.
That's what worries me, because I was putting out. Everybody told me I was crazy last year. I'd go buy this snake repellent because we have a creek that runs from
right on top of them.
Like an actual swamp area, kind of near our house, and we actually have a creek that flows from that swamp.
That's right.
On our property to the lake, the huge lake that goes out to the Gulf of Mexico, and we were doing a bunch of fence work, and it makes me think when they were doing all, digging up all that ground, that it made those snakes move even more.
Well, let me tell you this. I bet he wasn't moving very quick.
He wasn't moving very quick.
he was getting a lot of sun. He was trying to warm up, you know.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. It was 80 degrees yesterday, but when I grabbed that hoe and I made that first hit, he went in half. But that head must have moved another 20 minutes. It was crazy how long that head moved.
Boy, I'm proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, my son killed a snake to protect his family.
I mean, but I'm worried about snakes. I mean,
I don't like them
if
either.
our kids are home and we've got some little woods and creeks near our house, they're going to be out there running around.
When did you finally get his head? Did you finally cut it off?
Oh, yeah. I ended up throwing
I would have, you know what I would have loved to have done? I would have loved to have the camera. I would have loved to watch you kill that snake. Yeah, I wish I'd had a camera.
I grew up watching you kill snakes left and right my whole life.
I love to kill snakes. I really do. I'm going to probably go down there before long and see if I can kill some.
I mean, if you kill it with a hoe, aren't you risking getting pretty close to it?
Yeah, you get pretty close to it. You're right.
You're probably, I mean, the thing I've got is probably at least 6 foot. It's long. Like,
and then I'm sure the other part is another 3 foot with his arm. But you're exactly right, Mike. That was very good. And you need to do, you know, they're underneath that house by the hundreds, probably.
That's what I'm saying. I bought this snake repellent stuff, and I was putting it all over the yard, all over the houses. And my wife says, "Oh, you're just wasting money. It's crazy." I didn't see one snake last year when I put that snake repellent stuff.
And I saw one.
Where do you buy the snake repellent stuff? I want to buy some.
I mean, we got a hardware store in Grayton called Frank's Hardware, and they have this snake repellent stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like a powder. It smells like cinnamon and all kinds of other like spices.
Yeah, Mike, we got to go, and we'll see you tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Our show comes back on at 1:30. We're talking about this virus just like you are, and you know, it's the opinion strictly of us, of what we know and what we hear, and just I hope you're finding information from us that you'll carry on in a way that you don't take this virus for now. Don't be scared, be prepared, and that's very important. Don't be scared, but be prepared. Have a great day.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa know-how. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa know-how team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Big discounts, big selection,